Aziz, obviously, I'll ask you about Melbourne City before we get to the Socceroos. Obviously not the result you and the boys would have wanted midweek on the ACL. What's been the reaction on the training track by Aurelio and the boys?
Yeah, obviously it was disappointing. We were playing at home, and we put ourselves in a good position to obviously stay on top of open the gap up in the group, but it wasn't to be. I think first half we played really well. Second half we lost a bit of control. The game opened up into a transition, and obviously losing with a penalty was disappointing. But we've got to put that behind us. For us this season, games have come thick and fast. So we've got to focus on Macarthur now.
Yeah, because what's Aurelio specifically been like on the track? 'Cause obviously he was brought in and he's been seen as a bit more of a hard case, I guess is the best word, even though it's not the most accurate one. Then Rado was. How's he been? Did he give you the hairdryer? Was he more calm? What was his reaction like?
No, Vidic's been great. Obviously, I've worked with Vidic before. But you obviously saw, like I said, with games coming thick and fast, he hasn't had too much time with us on the training park. But, he's getting his points across as quick as possible. And obviously you saw the Sydney game was a great performance and a result. And, we need to build. Obviously, every coach has their style of play. So, we're just trying to adapt as soon as possible as a playing group, and I think we're showing glimpses of that, and I think we'll do that again on Sunday.
Because the games are coming thick and fast, as you say, and Aurelio's not had a lot of time. How much are you actually how much have you been able to take on? Because actually implement on the track, he's talked about doing the simple things. Is it really just do the simple things right until you can get into the international break and work on a few more things, even though that's not going to help someone like you who's going away?
Yeah, look, I think the simple things are just in general. But yeah, obviously, we do a lot of video sessions, analyse our games, and as a footballer, you can take that on board. Even if it's not on the training pitch, you can get an idea of what's wanted of the team and yourself. So no, look, it's been good. Like I said, since he's come in, obviously, we're mixing things up with style of play and that kind of stuff. And I think we showed glimpses of that, but we're only going to improve. We have a lot of quality in this squad, so we're only going to get better as the weeks go on.
What's this past few weeks and months been like for you? As is, obviously you've come home, you've signed back with Melbourne City / Melbourne Heart, and you're back here where you were born in Melbourne, but you were coming back to sign with the 3-time defending A-League men premiers, and that really hasn't gone to plan thus far in the season. What's it just been like for you?
Yeah, look, it's been a busy schedule. Obviously, national team games, Champions League, and then obviously with the league starting. So but as a footballer, that's what you want. It's why we do it. You want to be a part of a successful club, and I'm happy that I'm back. Pretty much where it all started for me. But obviously, I wanted to come back because of the expectations of this club. I want to win trophies. I want to play. I want to play in the Champions League. So it was the main factor of coming back. And obviously, I love playing with the pressure. And that's, as a footballer, you want to be a part of a club that demands winning all the time. So obviously, we haven't had the start we wanted in the Champions League, maybe so, but in the league, not the start we wanted, but still very early in the season. And like I said, we're only going to get better. And, it was a good win last week against Sydney. But, we've got to build on that performance because we're at home again on Sunday. And it's another good opportunity to go in the break with 3 points.
What's the dressing room been like? Because obviously that City dressing room was well established. They had continuity for a number of years, but there's been a massive amount of turnover this off-season. A whole bunch of players going across to Europe, a whole bunch of players coming in. Obviously, you would know quite a lot of the boys from your times together in the national teams and elsewhere around football, but has it been difficult, I guess, especially with the transition in coach as well, trying to just find the dressing room vibe with so many new faces and so much transition in that room?
Oh, look, I can't speak for the previous years, obviously, what it was like in the change room because I wasn't here, but we have a great bunch of boys and a lot of quality, like I said before, and the characters we have. I think the club's before signing players, the most important thing is the character and the will to work. And, we have that in this group, and we have a great bond within our change room, from player 1 till 23, 24, 25. That's no issue with us. We work hard every day, and we're out there to back each other as well. So look, obviously as football, turnovers happen. It's happened to all of us, and that's not an issue. Obviously, it takes a bit more time to gel, especially when new foreigners come to this league. I think it's very different to overseas. So it's taken maybe some of them a bit longer to adapt. But like I said, it's still early in the season, and we're only going to improve.
What was it like for you, Aziz, when you heard the news about Rado and the Jojo to Aurelio? Because I remember you spoke to Macarthur, I think, on the Monday, talking about how the players needed to perform better for Rado, and then 24 hours later, I guess you find out that he's out the door. What was that like for you? Yeah,
look, it's obviously never nice when somebody loses their job, not just in football, in any industry, and obviously it's part of this game. It's a cutthroat industry. I've seen it many of times in my time in Turkey and Scotland as well. And look, it's never nice. And but I said in that interview also, sometimes as a playing group, and obviously you look at yourself as well, you got to take responsibility sometimes. It's not always just on the coaches or all the staff. We're the ones on the pitch at the end of the day. But sometimes things aren't working, and in this case, obviously the club made a decision, and but as a footballer, the next day you roll in, and you got a job to do again, and that's perform at training, make yourself better every day. So you don't have time to dwell on those type of things too much.
Congrats on the call up to the squad.
Thank you.
You're obviously one of the most experienced players in the City side this season. How important do you feel your leadership is within both the dressing room and on the pitch, especially after some key departures in the off-season?
Look, I try to do obviously, first and foremost, I've got to perform as well. But like you said, I am one of the leaders in the group, and obviously, but we have a lot of experience in this group that, obviously with Macca, the captain, and you got Lex, you got Torgay, with a big pedigree, and one of the older players as well, so Jamie Young. So, we have a good leadership group here, and we're just trying to drive, obviously, and demand not just game day, but every day a high standard. And that's what this club's been about the last few years, and that's why they've always finished on top. So, we're trying to continue that. And like I said, a lot of new faces, so it has taken a bit longer to gel than expected, but look, trying to play my part on and off the pitch, and obviously try and move this club back up the ladder again.
Awesome, thanks, Matt.
Aziz, I'll say as well, congratulations on the call up
Thank
for
you.
the national team. Always something that's very proud for you, no doubt, especially given that you'll be playing in Melbourne again this time around, your hometown against Bangladesh. What does it feel like when you get to not only pull on the green and gold, but you get to do it in your hometown in front of your friends and family? Yeah,
it's always special getting called up. I've been involved for so long, but every time you get that call up, it's special, because I've always said, that's the pinnacle of football, representing a country on the world stage, and it's something I've strived for throughout my whole career, and a lot of decisions I've made throughout my career have been to make sure that I have a chance to put my hand up to get selected. And, obviously, we've got a Melbourne game. It's always a bit more special. It's not often you get a home game with the national team in your own city. So, really looking forward to it, and, looking forward to this next campaign as well.
Because the storylines at the start of the World Cup cycle are inevitably, it's about, you immediately start looking ahead to who's going to be there in the World Cup as well, not just at the start of the cycle. And obviously, you're the veteran figure on the left, and there's Geordie Boss coming through on the left as well. What's that relationship like in Geordie? You've been in a couple of camps together. I believe. And I guess how do you balance, as he's, you need to be a leader and you need to set an example for him and get the best out of him, but you also want to be playing the same minutes that he's trying to get. How do you balance those two things?
Yeah, look, we have a great culture within the Socceroos, and whether you're playing or not playing, we're all in it for the same reason, and that's to get to another World Cup. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of two, and I know how special and the experience that it's hard to explain to people what it's like being there. And for me, it's about just making sure that I'm playing week in, week out. Staying fit and healthy, and make sure that if I'm called upon, I take my chance really well, and I think I've done that in the past. But like I said, we've got a lot of good players in the squad, a lot of competition, and I think competition is healthy because we push each other when we're in camp, and obviously at the end of the day, it's up to the manager's decision who plays. But I've been part of these campaigns a lot, and it's a long and gruesome one with travel and places you have to go. So there's going to be a lot of players needed.
Because as you mentioned, you've been involved in a lot of these qualifying campaigns, like these sort of the games against Bangladesh and Palestine. They are the games that you're expected to win, and you're expected to win quite comfortably. What do you, like, coming into camp, what's the message? What are the goals in that sort of scenario where it's it's sort of a no-win situation, because no matter how well you play, it'll sort of get set as, well, you just beat Bangladesh or something like that.
Yeah, look, it's obviously, it's not just the expectation of everyone else, but that's our expectation. We want to go into every game to win, and whether it's against Bangladesh or Palestine, or obviously we've showed in the past against the top nations, we go out there to win the game. And, like I said before, that's the culture that we've, embedded into the Socceroos is, we expect that from ourselves. So, we go into every game, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We just try to focus on ourselves. We always block out the noise from the outside and the media, which is something that we've done pretty well in the past as well with the Socceroos. Sorry about that. But, that's, we just try to focus on ourselves and just try and improve our game. Obviously when you get in the national team, you don't have much time to prepare like you do at club football. So, you got to go in there fit and ready. And, like I said before, playing for your national team, it doesn't come around often. And players can tell you that haven't been involved too much, it can come and go very quickly. So, when you're there, you want to make the most of it and make sure you obviously take your best opportunities.
Time for a couple more, Joey, if you got any more.
Yeah. You talk about blocking out the noise there, and obviously coming into this game, you're playing against Palestine, who there's a lot going on for Palestine right now, but you've got to try to focus on just playing a football match against 11 men and how many other substitutes on the bench. When you're coming into these games, like against the Palestine, where there's so much else going on, how do you feel about that? How do you focus on just playing the football game when it's part of such a much bigger story?
Yeah, obviously what's happening right now is not nice for anybody involved. But for us right now, we just got to focus on Bangladesh. We as footballers, obviously we can be, we're so isolated and focused on just what's next. And for us right now, as a playing group, I think Arnie said it before as well, is just Bangladesh first and foremost. That's the most important thing for us right now, the football game against Bangladesh. And then we take the next steps forward after that. But right now, we want to kick off our campaign. Obviously, being on home soil for the first game, we want to kick off our campaign in style and put on a good performance for the home fans. And like I said, these they're long and gruesome qualifiers, but you want to really start well.
And just make sure no one from Macarthur kicks you on the weekend, so you can actually get it to camp.
Yeah, that's the plan. But look, for me, obviously, it's great to be selected and that, but for me as a footballer, the most important thing is the weekend's game. Really excited. Like I said, we're at home at Amy Park, and we're really looking forward to it.